Hey, good morning, everyone. Good to have you here. I want to talk today about consciously living your goals. Yesterday, we took the day off. We took the afternoon off. And we spent a lot of time discussing, how do you achieve your goals? How do you know when you're there? How do you feel it? And we went really through our history and found out when, as a group, like it was Tina, Jan, and I, that when we go back and assess when we were the most successful, what we found was that when we were chasing the money, when we're here online chasing the money and looking at everything as being a property or some sort of ownership that you can say, hey, I'm successful, I'm trying to make money. But that's not where the success was found. Success was found the moment we stopped chasing the money and started following our passion. And I know that's going to be a lot of what Tony talks about today in her talk, and I'm looking forward to hearing about that. But in order to live your goals consciously, you have to kind of change the way you look at things, don't you? And when you kind of look at things differently, they're going to change for you. And that's absolutely true. But part of living consciously, living your goals consciously, it's about self-discipline. Without self-discipline, you're basically living your life from moment to moment to moment, and you're going with that flow, but the flow's not taking you anywhere. Because you're not directing the flow. You're just going with it and going, yeah, okay, I'll do that now. Okay, yeah, I'll do that now. That is no way to live. Part of developing a mindset where you set a goal and start taking action to do the things that you know you need to do in order to achieve it, it has everything to do with your self-discipline. And it has everything to do with acceptance. Now, acceptance is a big part of self-discipline, isn't it? Acceptance is where you are able to look at reality as it currently really is. So you can really, get an accurate view of where you are right now. I know it sounds simple, it sounds obvious, but in practice, it's an extremely difficult thing to do. If you experience chronic difficulties in a particular area of your life, for example, setting goals and taking action to get those goals, there's a strong chance that the root to the problem is your failure to accept reality as it truly is in your situation. So what is acceptance, and why is it a big part of self-discipline? Well, the most basic mistake people make with respect to self-discipline is a failure to accurately perceive and accept their present situation. Remember the analogy between self-discipline and weight training that I talked about before? If you're going to get out there and start weight training, you've got a goal in mind. Well, I want bigger muscles. I want to look better. I want to get healthier. But you just don't go into the gym and start pumping weights. I mean, you've got to set up your program to achieve those results. You've got to work those separate muscle groups. You don't start with really light weights, because nothing is going to happen for you. You've got to find where your potential starts and where you can increase that potential by adding more weight, and you add more weight, and you add more weight, and eventually you're there. But if you go there and you start pushing way too much weight, you're not going to achieve that goal. If you get out there and start pushing too light of a weight, you're never going to get there either, because you're not going to achieve the results that you were hoping that you would achieve. So you have to consciously acknowledge where you're sitting right now in that place you call home, in that chair you're sitting in right now. You've got to consciously accept why I'm here today doing the things I'm doing. Now, you have to take a look at your self-discipline, and you've got to know where you are right now. How strong. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions, but I'm going to ask you how strong your discipline is right now. What challenges are easy for you, And what challenges are virtually impossible for you to even think of achieving? Well, here are the questions for you guys. Now, where do you stand right now in all these things? Do you shower and do you bathe every day? Well, of course we do. Do you get up at the same time every morning, including weekends? Are you overweight? Do you have any addictions? Caffeine, alcohol, sugar, nicotine? Any bad habits you have that you'd love to break, but you haven't? Is your email box empty right now? Is your office neat and organized? Is your home neat and well organized? How much time do you waste on any typical day? Like, we all waste time. We're all a bunch of time wasters. What's the percentage of chance you'll keep it if you make a promise to someone? Is it 100%? Is it 80-20? You make a promise to someone, it better be 100%. What's the greatest physical challenge you've ever faced? And how long ago was that? How many hours of focused work do you complete on a typical work day? How many items on your to-do list that are older than 90 days old? Do you have clear written goals? Do you have written plans to achieve them? We have a nice tool at CLB called the RSS, the Resolution Success System, and believe me, it works, and it works really well. It keeps you on track. You know, are you in debt? Do you consider this debt an investment, or do you consider your debt a mistake? You know, these are reality checklists, guys. These are questions you should be asking yourself so that you can identify an area in your life that requires more discipline. That area of your life that you know you need to improve. That area in your life where you know if you keep going with the flow, it's not going to end up being very good for you. And the only way to change that is to get a little discipline. Do a little checklist. For example, if you're used to getting up at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. in the morning, well, you can't all of a sudden say to yourself, well, I'm gonna get up at 5 a.m. and start doing my work. Well, that's not going to work for you. It's too big of a leap. I mean, if you're used to getting up at 10 and all of a sudden you're going to get up at 5, 6, or 7, that's a big jump. I know whenever I have to drive someone to the airport and I got to get up early, whoa, that's a tough go for me. That's a big leap. Can I do it? Yeah. Am I happy? Not really. Am I cranky? Am I cranky for most of the morning? Yeah, probably, yeah. I need my sleep. I need my beauty sleep. But the idea is, if you want to start working on self-discipline so you can get to doing what you want to do and following your passion, you know, work on it a little chunk at a time. Instead of getting up at 10 a.m., get up at 9:45. Do that for a while. When that's good, get up at 9:30. And before you know it, you'll be up at 7:30. And as soon as you take every area of your life that needs work, that needs a little, you know, a little acceptance of where you are today, that's where self-discipline starts, by realizing that, oh, geez, I've got a problem. And the reason I'm not getting anywhere is because I'm stuck in my own belief system. I'm stuck in the idea that it's all about the money. Well, it's not about the money. It's about what you can do for other people. It's about following your passion. It's about finding the discipline to finally get to that point in your life, like were discussing yesterday, Tina, Janet, and myself, that you get to that point in your life where you might have the money, you certainly don't have that success mindset, because now you're involved in something you didn't really want to be involved in anyway. Yes, you've got the money, but you have no happiness. You have nothing that fulfills you. So what do? You start following what gives you the most passion. For some people, that's writing a book, like Tony DeMarco, like Janet, like Tina. But you could see the joy in their face now. You can see the happiness in what they're doing. And it's all about that self-discipline. Yes, it's a lot of work. But if you took the time to improve your acceptance about where you are today, you can change it. You can change it. Ask Dr. Wayne Dwyer, he'll tell you. Because when you look at the way, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And it's so, so true. So go through a list, guys. Ask your questions. Why is it stopping me? Why am I unable to follow my goals with passion? It's because you're stuck. You're stuck in the old social paradigm of old world thinking. Stop it. Follow your passion. Decide what's important to you and follow it. We can all do wonderful, following our little niches, because there's billions of people out there that follow it too. So with that, Jan, I'll give the room back to you, and I'm looking forward to hearing from Tony. And thank you all for listening to me this morning. I appreciate your time, and as always, I hope that your results this week were greater than you had hoped or even could imagine.